What's up YouTube? This is GalacticGod, and as promised, today I'm coming at you with the deck that I used at the San Diego YCS. This was, of course, a battle pack event, so I was able to get 10 battle packs. These are the 50 cards that I had to make my deck out of. I used 31 of them for the main deck. I had a 4-card extra deck, and then the rest of the cards were my side deck. So I'm going to go over all my card choices, ultimately everything I decided to use in the main deck, and why I decided to use it that way, what I felt I could have done differently to maybe do a little bit better in the event and be a little bit more prepared and all that kind of good stuff. Let me start off by saying also that I did not pull the brokes. There were some people that pulled extremely well. They got all the really busted, banned, forbidden cards, whatever you want to call them. I was only able to pull one forbidden card, and it was definitely not the best one that I was hoping for. I did not pull any DMOCs. I didn't get Pot of Greed, Graceful Charity, Ring of Destruction. I didn't even get really good cards like Gores or anything like that in my main deck. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and just get started with the whole deck list. So I kind of divided my monster count into just aggro beaters and then kind of defensive cards. To start things off, I have 2 vanilla 1900 beaters that I was able to pull, both Insect Knight and Archfiend Soldier. Essentially, they were just there for beat stick purposes. Worked out good too, because a lot of times you can get over just about anything in this event with a 1900. I also pulled a Slate Warrior, which is good. Slate Warrior is normally a 1900 attack monster, for those of you guys who don't know. And then if he's flip summoned, he becomes 2400. Really awesome card, very cool. Definitely allowed me to get over a lot of stuff. Then I was luckily able to pull a Breaker. You guys all know what Breaker does. Then I pulled Mila the Temporal Magician. This card is actually pretty neat, pretty cool. It has when it's normal summoned, you can look at one set card your opponent controls. It could be spell or trap or monster, which is kind of cool. And then the activation of its effect and everything cannot be negated by any other card, that is definitely awesome. The fact that it can actually look at face down monsters became very useful at the event. I remember I would be like, okay, activate effect, and they'd go to show me their background. I'd be like, oh, no, I don't want to see the back row. I want to see that set monster. And they'd be like, what the heck? And I'd look and I'd be like, oh, what the heck? Penguin Soldier? Heck no. I don't want to attack that thing. Anyhow, it was pretty cool. Plus 1800's pretty nice for beat stick purposes. And finally, I had DD Assailant, good for getting rid of problem big monsters if they're able to get something out like a Gores or just a really powerful Exceed. You just remove it. Very cool. For defensive monsters now, I was able to pull 2 Snowman Eaters. One of them Starfoil, one of them just the normal black rare or whatever. Definitely one of the more bigger MVP cards of the day, because like I said, they have a lot of beat stick 1900 monsters, and they would ram into it. I'd flip this over and then destroy their 1900 beater, and my guy would stay on the field. Unfortunately, I couldn't really do much with it after it at that point because I didn't pull any rank 3 monsters, which was just horrible, but I'll get to that more in a second. I remember when I was dueling Mecha Ju, and she's like, how the hell did you pull so many Snowman Eaters? This is crazy. I keep running into them. And besides Snowman Eater, I also got an old Vindictive Magician, which is good. Lots of monster removal. From there, I have Giant Soldier Stone, just 2000 beater, plus he has the 1300 attack, which is kind of good. I have Gyroid, which is can't be destroyed twice. Up to twice per turn per battle, so they'll have to hit it twice. Or no, cannot be destroyed once per turn. This card cannot be destroyed by battle. That's how it works. So they have to hit it twice, essentially, to get it off the field. I also had a Mask of Darkness, great for getting back my traps. Des Mosquito. This guy, you get 2 counters on him when he's summoned, normal summoned I should say, and he can't be destroyed while he has a counter on him, so he goes up 500 attack for each counter. He normally starts off at 500, so it's pretty weak. 1500 attack is what it made him, but it's good just for leaving on the field and keeping yourself alive until you can actually draw into some answers maybe. And finally, I did pull a Tour Guide from the Underworld with 1 target, Gravitech Orb. So that was kind of cool. I was really excited when I saw that I got that. It's the Starfoil one too, for those of you guys who want to know. The only problem was I did not pull any rank 3 monster, so even though I actually pulled a target for Tour Guide, there was no rank 3 monsters for me to go into, so I would summon her and bring it out, and I might be able to get in there with 2100 damage, but I couldn't overlay into anything. Sometimes that worked out for my advantage though, because I would summon Tour Guide from the Underworld, and my opponent would be like, oh my gosh, you actually have a target? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to activate effect. And they're like, you know what, I'm going to Divine Wrath that. And I'm like, that works for me because I couldn't overlay anyway. So, kind of cool. And that was the monsters that I decided to use in my deck. Alright, so for spells and traps, I think I did pretty well for them, but unfortunately, like I said, I got no real power cards, only one good forbidden card that I pulled, but I don't know. Anyhow, I was able to get 2 MSTs, which is kind of cool. One of them Starfoil, one of them just the normal, I guess it's white rare, I think? I don't think it comes common. I don't know. And then from there, I got a Burden of the Mighty, actually 2 Burden of the Mighties, one of them rare, one of them Starfoil. This card put in a lot of work because a lot of times people weren't going into Exceeds, or they just couldn't. You know, they couldn't pull it off quite well. So I would just activate a Burn of the Mighty, and then it made even my low attacking monsters able to get over some of their stuff. So pretty good. A creature swap came in really handy, especially after I would flip summon a Snowman Eater, destroy one of their monsters, then creature swap over the Snowman Eater and get their good monster. Scapegoat kind of helped stall me out a lot of times. Enemy Controller. Really, Scapegoat is the only really good thing I have with Enemy Controller, but you know, it is what it is. And Premature Burial, the one banned card that I was actually able to pull. Definitely a good card, but it's no Pot of Greed, Graceful Charity, Harpy's Feather Duster, Regeki, or Heavy Stormer. It's something really powerful that was going to help me. And I didn't pull no big boss monsters to Premature either, so you know, I was only really Prematuring 1900 beaters, so it wasn't really the greatest card that I could have got. And that's going to do it for the spells. Alright, so for the traps, I was able to pull Solemn Judgment. Definitely helped me out quite a bit. Magic Drain, I don't know how everybody always had a spell to discard for Magic Drain. It was crazy. But I guess, you know, whatever. At least I knocked another spell out of them. Spell Shield type 8, kind of cool. Needle Sealing definitely helped me out in, you know, probably my only mass removal that I had. And I, you know, used it to the best of my advantage as many times as I could. You know, I remember one game where, you know, an opponent had 3 monsters face up on the field. All I had was 1 set Needle Sealing, and he didn't have quite enough damage to push for game. And he was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and summon another monster. I'm gonna try and go for game. And he summoned the other monster, and I was like, Needle Sealing, and he was like, ah. So I mean, that was kind of cool. Skill Successor, very cool. Definitely allowed me to get boost on my monsters quite a couple times. Inverse Universe, crazy card. Flipping all effect monsters attack and defense so that permanently, so whatever their attack was then becomes their defense, whatever the defense then becomes their attacks. Worked out great with my Snowman Eaters. And then 2 copies of Nightmare Wheel, definitely probably my MVB trap. This card somehow won me so many games because people just didn't have the spell or trap removal to get rid of it once I put it on one of their monsters. And I would try and put it on a weird leveled monster or a face down monster just so they couldn't like exceed out of it. So their only hope was really to draw into a tribute monster. And that's gonna kind of do it for my main deck, 31 cards. So for the extra deck, I pulled not 1, not 2, but 3 Utopias. Don't ask me how or why. I was able to get 3 of them. And then a wind-up Zenmeister. So I only pulled rank 4s, which really hindered me quite a bit. I made all my spent Snowman Eaters and you know, Giant Soldier Stone, all that stuff kind of worthless. I put up all this defense on the field, my opponent would have nothing, but I couldn't really push for any damage. Couldn't exceed into a level. I didn't even pull a Grinosaurus, which would have been, you know, okay for my tour guide plays. And that's my extra deck, unfortunately. So for the rest of the cards that you pulled, they become your side deck. I really think I should have put in some kind of sack monsters, even though I didn't pull the best of tribute monsters. I should have been maining at least one of them of some kind, because I'd have so many defensive monsters sometimes on the field, and I couldn't do nothing with them because I couldn't overlay because they weren't level 4. You know, I could attribute them from my Superconductor Tyranno, or even my Buster Blader, or Skull Archfiend Lightning, or the Gap of Divine Soldier, or even Vampire Lord. All these cards, I should have had one of them probably in the main deck. I was thinking that the whole time. I would always side at least one of them in, because I would always have something to tribute but nothing to tribute it for, especially in game 1. Rounding up the rest of the cards that I had that were kind of decent choices that I could have used, or maybe a Grave Protector, Worm Braces, and then Blizzard Dragon. These are all pretty good cards that I considered main decking, ultimately just chose not to. And we got Fabled Raven, Wind Up Warrior, Wind Up Dog, Gilasaurus. Didn't go in with this card mostly because I didn't like the idea of my opponent special summoning if I didn't pull it first turn. Plus, there was really nothing. Wasn't main decking no tribute monster, so I couldn't tribute it off. And then I couldn't exceed with it because I didn't have any rank 3, so it didn't seem like there was a place for it in the deck. Hardened Arm Dragon, Level Eater, and then Raging Flame Sprite to round up the rest, and the final bit of cards that I was able to get out of my battle packs. And that, guys, is everything I was able to pull and have to build my deck with at the YCS. Remember to let me know out of my build what you think you would have done differently. I kind of gave you my ideas of what I would have chose differently considering the cards that I got. I don't think I should have played Tour Guide of the Underworld in the deck, but I didn't have any rank 3s. It seems so much like a dead card most of the time. Anyhow, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I guess that's it for now. This is GalacticGod, out.